Yeah, thank you very much, Machine. Obviously, we've heard some of the lesser analyst prediction. We've got you here, of course.
So
We've switched you
the
over.
lesser analysts.
Yeah, the lesser analysts, you know, like Thorin, who makes lovely comments about people's looks, but
Don't take
then
it
takes
personally.
like random stabs in the dark. So,
Yeah.
what are your opinions on this one? You going TyLoo? You sticking with Gambit? Obviously, it is their like top map, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm taking Gambit on this. I think they're going to be super happy with the map, obviously, but also that team is just there's just too many advantages they have. I mean, Adren and Hobbit, these talents that I don't think TyLoo is. It's going to be tough for them to match up with, and just kind of the style. Like for a team that like TyLoo that doesn't have all the experience, gets a little disorganized at times, playing with the stand-in as well. Gambit is just designed right tactically to be able to punish that and really take advantage of it. So yeah, I think Gambit's going to wreck this.
Yeah, it's set up like that. I think it has to be said. We've highlighted quite a lot of players already. I think definitely on this map, CT side at least, I feel like the AWPers are going to come into play. Like, I'm a big fan of Captain Mo.
Yeah?
Like he's very flashy. I think him and Savage,
Captain
I've always
Mo?
been like loving watching how they play. But do you think he can match up versus Mo, I suppose?
I mean, actually, yeah, because Mo has like proven he can be a little bit inconsistent. So, I mean, if it's the right day, then yeah, certainly. I mean, the issue is Captain Mo. That's going to be fun. Captain Mo has he's had some of like the flashy rounds, right? And he's had some like very good and very impactful like individual rounds, but it's the full package. And I think that's where you're going to see some kind of a struggle because he is that kind of opper who goes off the skill, which he has a lot of. But you know, it's like we criticize other teams for, not necessarily the opper themselves. Is TyLoo really that coordinated to be able to set him up to have consistent success round after round after round, especially against a team like Gambit? That's going to be the question. If they're actually flashing to get him into place, if they're flashing to get Mo on Gambit back so that Captain Mo can have the angle. I don't see that happening as frequently as they would like. So, and then it just comes down to, I mean, if you lose one unfortunate round on the CT side, all of a sudden your opper can't afford the AWP, and that's no fun. That's never fun, Tom.
Well, it's sort of similar to what we saw yesterday when we were talking about the Hellraisers game, where it was like, if that aggression works, if you have the team play to get him into the spots, then everything can work wonderfully. Whereas if it doesn't, well, we saw at the early stages of that game where he was just going down and sort of being a little bit of a, well, burden in a way.
Not just that game. I mean, so many games yesterday were decided by oppers that couldn't be contained. And actually, speaking of that, I mean, Gambit's going to have to contain this fast push from TyLoo, pushing right up this ramp. Doors are going to be smoked off. Zoking's leading the way. He's got a little bit of damage down, but there is a crossfire set up at range. There goes Zeus. Now with Dren's here, the rotation is on, but the bomb site is slowly being lost.
Yeah, we can already see Mo actually in on the flank as well, but they're losing players left, right, and center. Somebody starting off with another kill. Mo comes in with his flank, but he's already been spotted and isolated completely, leaving only one player left. Hobbit to try and fight versus 4. Not going to happen. Somebody with the triple and pistol done in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, that's unreal. That is TyLoo just saying, we're going to take all the decision-making out of this. Let's just get in their faces so quick, starting this match off with a very, very aggressive tactic. Not bad. It's, still early in the morning. Gambit might be just caught napping on that pistol round. I mean, they didn't even really see it until, Zeus didn't even peek out those doors until it was already too late. I mean, they were already up in his face. So that's got to be very, very uncomfortable for this Gambit defense. So TyLoo catching him off guard. Maybe one of those situations as well where against the European teams, starting to, establishing some respect early on in this match.
Already a little bit of early aggression coming out from the T side. Not anything too crazy. CT's just playing that sort of rotational role, moving a 4th player already back. They've invested lightly, but there's no utility to play with whatsoever. And already Agent's going to have something to deal with. DD takes his head clean off, moving through into drop, and they're looking to just pincer themselves back onto the site. One will come in for Mo, but they're being flanked from behind. The plat position has been lost, and all the kills go the way of the T's. Only Zeus remaining, rotating in towards the doors.
Yeah, very fast on drop, and nice play from HZ, being a little bit patient, making sure that those players at Rock got pinched from both sides at the same time. TyLoo's going to get a quick 2-0, and the first player to fall there for Gambit was Adren, and I mean, they talked about on the desk how difficult drop can be to hold as CTs on this map. It really does have to be a team effort, but on top of that, Adren yesterday, very quiet for a guy with Gambit's rise. Adren was one of those players that, as an individual was just playing at a superstar level for some months. So they're going to need him to really be present today in a way that he wasn't yesterday.
We are just going to have a flat eco coming out this time from the CT side. Nothing invested, all pushing over towards that A site. And that's actually where the majority of players are going. DD will in fact get one and go down. Only the UMP lost so far, but it's still extra damage. And of course, an extra $300 to the player that actually gets the kill. And they're just going round the flank, pushing him from behind. Shouldn't really be able to find anything from here on out. Although somebody is alone, has an AK. If they can drop that, that could be a huge, well, benefit to them. But oh, actually, Zeus is going to get the kill. Doesn't go over for that AK, however.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there's just so many TyLoo players around that are going to be able to prevent him from getting that gun. That one VG tag is really throwing me off here in the kill feed when it pops up for Soking. But yeah, quick 3-0 for TyLoo. Gambit on the back foot, and I mean, they did invest into the second round, so it'll be interesting to see like what kind of utility. I mean, they're going to be a little bit deficient in that area. Light on some nades, maybe not having some kits. The AWP might have to be a glass cannon, so it's going to be tough for Gambit. They need to get started in these gun rounds pretty quickly. I mean, Duncan did mention that Gambit is one of those teams kind of leading the shift towards a little bit more of a CT-sided cobble. And look at this, more fast-paced, keeping up the aggression, and there's the pop flash. That's perfectly countered. One pop flash, and Hobbit jumps up to get 2 quick kills, and all of a sudden, the bite in this attack is gone. There's really no danger to it anymore.
They have managed to gain a little bit of control of drop, but other than that, they've already lost 2 players. Plat is completely under the control of this CT side, and the problem is not having Plat control and taking the B site is nigh on impossible, so I wouldn't really be surprised to see them try and duck back out the window, but that's already being held by Zeus as well.
I mean, brilliant rotations. And that's also, I mean, the thing, when you have light utility, if it's going to be a fast tactic like that from TyLoo, Gambit does a lot with so little, just the one pop flash. Very, very nicely defended.
And down to the minute mark, they are making their way out towards that Plat position. It's more passive from Hobbit, gone back into the little cubby hole, and he's just going to wait, sort of bait out his teammate as Adrian will take the shots. Hobbit gets one, somebody able to trade, but it's very quickly dealt with. Hobbit with the quad kill overall, and a lovely round coming out from the CTs. And
importantly as well, 4 players survive for Gambit, so they can reinvest into those nades. They might just drop 1 gun over, but overall it's a net gain in terms of their economy. So very, very good for them. And this is one of the things, it's always that kind of hard call, and one of the things that we talk about with TyLoo maybe tactically is kind of where they're missing. It's not necessarily the skill, but you know, around where you know your opponents are going to have light utility in terms of what they can bring into the later stages of the round. If you do a slow tactic, those smokes, those flashbangs, they run out very quickly, and then you can have an easier access to the bomb site.
So could you sort of talk about the idea of them playing like this because of the fact they have a stand-in and it's more of a sort of freestyle team?
It could be. I think also part of it is just wanting to set like an aggressive tone. You know, it does come down to some of that respect factor. I mean, we have to remember this is a team that's actually pretty experienced against, you know, the European oppositions, and more often than not, it's probably a result of them just getting beat up by very fast, very aggressive plays, and them trying to do the same kind of thing and just saying, you won't be able to just push us and win these duels. So far, I mean, it worked on the pistol round, but in that gun round, that's where you want to take the tactical advantage. If they have like a slow-paced default, and they just kind of apply a little bit of pressure without committing, that's when, you know, Hobbit he gets that pop flash, but no one's there for Hobbit to kill. And then all of a sudden, later in the round, that pop flash is gone for Gambit's use.
Of course, going into this round, it is the potential reset for the CT side, aggressively pushing out, and Dosia's already lost control of drop. Nade will be dunked onto a teammate, but not really doing too much damage overall. And Zoking on the other side of the map, actually going to lose his life, but he was just sort of the fake. He was the flank man. Now it's onto Hobbit. Gets the first, looking for more. He's isolated by DD and leaving it into a 3 versus 3. The push back from Adrian, making his way in. Gets the first, second, going for the third, and all cleaned up by Adrian. Lovely stuff again.
Yeah, said he had to show up in a very, very clean triple kill for him there. And actually, Gambit got a little bit caught off guard. They over-rotated in that situation, so Adren coming back to try and make up for it with 3 kills, that's very nice. But, I mean, just that one player at the A bomb site kind of shifted that defense, and it could have been a very dangerous situation because Hobbit, I mean, he was the sole defender at that point when that hit came in. So nice fake from TyLoo, but they can't capitalize on the over-rotation.
Wonderful stuff from Adrian. Shouldn't have been able to get away with that, really. The bomb planter left isolated, and now, well, the economy is where the hit comes in for TyLoo. Not going to be able to invest too much into this round. They have lost a couple in a row, so it's not going to be too much of a problem to buy back up, but they are just handing economy over to Gambit. I think that was actually 3 players left alive for them at the end of that, thanks to the heroics of Adrian.
It's a ballsy peek from Zeus, and actually look at this D picking up the pace. Zeus is going to fall here. He gets caught off guard. The rest of TyLoo is streaming up, but there's the Molotov, there's smokes, and there's nades. Good kill from Captain Mo, and a Dren out in the open. He gets dropped as well. And you can just see the utility reigning in, the advantage of the economy from Gambit. Flames all over, and TyLoo's going to try and fall back, but Hobbit's reading this perfectly, but he gets traded off. Oh, this is a very scary situation. It's all down to Doja.
Yeah, and they're actually going to be able to rotate all the way back towards the B site. Dosia is completely unaware even, and HZ has already got himself a couple of kills with just a P250 invested. Got now an M4 into his hands. The range will come into play, and there isn't actually a whole lot of utility left for Dosia to play with. They're trying to, it looks like they're trying to bait out that time a little bit and hope that Dosia will over-rotate back towards the A site after spotting nothing. But with 35 seconds left, he is sort of taking a bit of a gamble, staying by the door. If the bomb goes down over towards A, he'll comfortably be able to rotate back. But he's just going to hold the angle for now, and this could be the absolutely perfect play to make.
Yeah, this is a really awkward angle as well when TyLoo eventually does decide. The utility is going to give up exactly where they're going. They want to block off tree. I don't know why there's only one player. No one can be boosted up there. So Doja, he's missing his shots. They're going to get the bomb planted. Now all of a sudden you have that M4 at range on HZ covering his teammate. There's the peak. Doja trying to time it so well. He's not able to do it quite yet. He's got him low. He has a kit, so he still has time, but he needs to find some of these kills. Smokes out another peak, but somehow he's not falling. Captain Mo is still alive. Doja with one. Now close up. It's 7 HP. He should have this, and he does. Doja with the patience. That's such an awkward situation when those kills aren't going your way, but he has a long bomb timer to play with.
That's a little bit too close for comfort, though. Like, yeah, the amount of damage that's done, a bomb plant, they invested, what, into Kevlar on one player, and I think only a P250 onto the man that did most of the damage.
Yeah, if you're TyLoo with a plant and 4 kills, you're super happy with that outcome.
Although, I bet there's something in the back of their minds, like 2 versus 1, bomb down. Yeah. Like, there's always going to be that little thing like, oh, we could have actually taken that round. Yeah,
they actually played that 2v1 pretty well. I mean, Doja, it seems like, should have gotten a kill earlier, but as well, HZ had some opportunities to find one of his own. It was Captain Mo who played that very, very wisely, just staying alive with no armor, with just a pistol, trying to bait Doja out into the open.
Heavy investment, actually, into this round. Double AWPs in play for the CT side. We will have Captain Mo on the opposing, and possibly... I thought somebody might be about to be flashed through the smoke. He is just waiting over towards Plat, Hobbit, around that area as well. But the majority of players are going to challenge on towards Mo at long, taking control once again, but he's happy to just fall back to the site and play this passively.
Yeah, and TyLoo's taking these A-halls very aggressively. This is the second time they've thrown that same combination of smoke, flash, and I mean, all 3 players just getting highly, highly aggressive once it comes out. Zeus got caught off guard in the previous round, which kind of led to that very tense 2v1 situation. This time it's Mo who gets back in time with the AWP, but he's pushed all the way back to the site. So Zeus is the only one gaining the intel over at the A bomb site, and the defense is going to be spread a little bit thin. Doja alone in drop room, 2 players defending this B site.
Hobbit ready with the incendiary in an attempt to slow them down. There's still a smoke popped at the moment, so they won't be able to get too close to him, although they are actually going to flash out. I think the Molotov may have actually been extinguished by just the edge of that smoke. Doesn't seem to do any damage whatsoever over to the remaining players. We're building up to the 30-second mark. Drop down is going to be taken as they look to pincer in the rotation already coming, but it's Dosia, Hobbit combining. Spray goes away. Hobbit doing damage, takes down 2, but is quickly traded. And in fact, 3 players are lost now for the CT side. The peak from Zeus is going to achieve nothing, and Mo is just caught out. Stuck outside the site. Gets 1 back, though, into this 1 versus 2, and he's already going to be pushing for information, trying to find a player over towards Plat, but they're currently just stacked over towards Chicken Coop and the site itself, so there isn't really much for him to find whatsoever. He's going to have to go for an aggressive peek. Still has a kit, but no utility. Finds the first, and actually it's going to be missed. He gets the second as well. Zoking not able to capitalize on that peek, and it will be Mo to clutch versus 2.
But how does that happen, Mo? It almost looked like he didn't even realize there was a second player back there. Nails the shot, though. And that's a ridiculous round for TyLoo. They do that so well, even despite losing the 2 players in drop. They trade so perfectly coming off B platform. 3 quick kills go their way. And just the post plant's a little bit too exposed and no one really watching for that kind of sidewalk play. A very nice 1-on-2, but again, more economic damage being dealt. It's like he couldn't really figure out who he wanted to shoot for. But he nails it. Good stuff from Mo, very good clutch, and that's just, you know, a little bit maybe miscommunication, a mistake on who's watching what and at what exact angle he's using.
Back to a fast play, however, coming out from TyLoo, already making their way up ramp, just pushing forward. Zeus only has a mag 7, but is in the corner, ready and waiting, and the rotation's being quick. Here goes the mag, first kill for Zeus, second kill as well. He's combining with his team. Range may not be a problem for this man, as only somebody remains. He's got to try and find 5 players, and he's just stuck at the moment. Pushes into Mo, easy cleanup, and a nice round again from Gambit.
And this is the dangerous part, because 2 consecutive 1-on-2s won by Gambit. This is now where this can kind of snowball a little bit out of control if you're TyLoo. So they need to be careful. Obviously, they switch back to the aggression. It's what worked on pistol round. They're hoping maybe it works here. It's what worked on their force buy to get it into a 2-on-1 versus Doja, which they lost. And now, I mean, the shotgun from Zeus just really shuts that down. So dangerous times. TyLoo's got to find something that works pretty quickly, because even when they're getting the kills, even when they're having good entrances into the bomb sites, they're not able to win out the clutch situations.
Said minimal investment will be going into this round for the T side. Looking like they want to challenge over towards drop. They had a little bit of alert coming out from somebody early into the round, but he's just going to be rotating back. And one of the positions they've had relatively easily has actually been dropped so far. We talk about the idea of actually challenging it with 2 players. It's very hard to actually hold on your own. Some will bring it in with the shotgun, but it's actually going to be 2-pronged. They're waiting for it this time after the challenges that have come in, and it's going to be a quick push out. Missed shot from Dosia, but, well, actually, no, not Dosia. He gets the kill on the other side of the window. And now it will just be the cleanup once again, not able to get anything done. Bomb is now down in drop, so they have to try and get this back. And, well, at least there's a couple of low players. That's the only real benefit at the moment.
Yeah, but I imagine even Doja, he would get swapped out. Actually, no, they're just going to use him as bait, and he's actually going forward. A couple shots from the Tech 9 force him back right into the waiting arms of Mo's AWP. There's a flashbang as well. Mo's going to grab that as well. So, yeah, some low HP, but they just couldn't find him at the end. Gambit, I mean, they took some economic damage. Remember, this came down to 2 rounds in a row where they only had 1 player remaining alive who had to clutch it out. But now with the round where they all 5 survive, the money starts to balloon back up. Full losing bonus for TyLoo. The issue is, like I said, they just don't have like a working solution because they're getting into the site. This is the tough part as an in-game leader. When you have 2 consecutive rounds where it's come down to 2-on-1s, like what you're doing is being successful. You just can't convert those into wins. And sometimes as an in-game leader, despite losing rounds, you don't really want to switch anything up because it's getting the objectives. It's getting the bomb planted.
Yeah, this time, however, we will actually see Mo peeking out with an aggressive push towards middle. And that has been countered, and already a second peek comes out. Somebody catches Hobbit just in the gap through the smoke, and that's already a huge 2-man advantage for TyLoo. Zeus already looking to try and counter that over towards the A site, but there are 3 players waiting on the other side of that smoke, so he has to be very careful. And in fact, they're going to go pushing onto him. He's just picked up the AWP, caught out by Zoking, and that should be the round done. There shouldn't be any way for these CT players to get back in. As you said, they've been making money the last couple of rounds. We saw the Mag 7, so maybe they're going to look to at least catch somebody out, but they're right next to each other in the smoke. Adrian just spraying away. The bomb goes down and just walks into him. Zoking will actually get the kill, and now Dosia, well, he is on the other side of the map, waiting over towards B. Has heard somebody flanking, I imagine, as he seems to be spotting out over towards Platt. They've already taken so much control next to him, but never mind. He's actually going to get himself a freebie. Zoking pushing away, gets another as well, making this costly, and in fact, even looks like he wants to challenge now.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because you almost think in a 2-on-5 situation, it's almost a mistake to even go for it. But, I mean, this is just the confidence Gambit's going to have right now against these players, believing they can win it. And now all of a sudden with some risky peaks, some risky plays from TyLoo, Doja's found himself 2 kills and right back into it. Another 1-on-2. Almost finds that one. Captain Mo's got to be careful with the repeaks, but he does win the fight in the end. So finally a post plant goes the way of TyLoo. They've got 4. And despite the fact that it's been, 6 straight gun rounds essentially for Gambit, this match it doesn't feel as as one-sided as maybe it actually is in the gun rounds, just because of the benefit of that pistol. So TyLoo, that pistol gives him a cushion to get back into this game. 6-4, not a bad scoreline to have at this point at all, especially when you consider the Gambit economy. I mean, after this, if it's not for Zeus's shotgun kills, this is a weak economy.
Back in with the double AWP setup. Other than the peak that we actually saw come out from Mo, it has been relatively passive, so countering it should be fairly difficult. Zeus actually going to go in what I would like to deem the snacks position, just up close.
That's not bad. We can do that. I think he's earned it.
Just about. But then again, I feel like there's too many spots that you could call a snacks position. Either way, he's going to be waiting, looking for these spots. They are all behind the smoke at the moment. 3 players just waiting, going to go pushing towards this mag. This is the perfect place for it to be. Gets the first, falls back, waits for the repeat. And actually doing so much damage, doesn't quite get the other couple of kills, but does enough. 2 low players now over on TyLoo. And actually now we're going to see the secondary AWP peeking out from Hobbit, but he's gone in a second. Somebody takes his head off, and they're going to pounce onto the site. Adrian is here to defend it. Takes down Didi, looking for somebody as well, but can't quite capitalize, and they may have the man advantage, but the HP is not looking good. Yeah,
and I mean, Zeus, it wasn't worth the fact that they cleared him out. 1 kill, so much damage. It's the other portions of the map that TyLoo has success on. Hobbit's a little bit over-eager on that platform. It's a couple times now he's been caught out, and another man advantage for TyLoo. Can they figure out how exactly to win this one? And they've got a great advantage because Zoking's already basically up in the A bomb site. Mo rotating with the AWP. He's got to hit some stellar shots. Very narrow angle, but the Molotov is burning him. It spreads just far enough, and this bomb is going to make its way into the site. Mo not going to peek to prevent that. So bomb does get planted. Gambit's going to have to do another retake. That nade, they're very, very low HP.
Doesn't quite manage to reach quite far enough to take down one. That would have evened things up, of course. In terms of HP, the CT still have the advantage. The AWP may not be the best weapon to actually have in this sort of circumstance. Just trying to rattle off shots and go for the cross, but somebody is very well placed to actually catch off Dosia. Nothing he can do in that scenario, and now Mo, he has to just look to save this AWP, bring it into the next round, and have something more to challenge with.
Right, and I mean, I think this time do have to be a little bit critical of it in this situation. If you're not getting those picks to make that retake happen with those 2 players, with this AWP, they're going to buy anyways next round. So why not Doja just save that M4? You have a stronger buy because I think they're going to need a drop anyways. I think someone's going to be pretty light in terms of the weaponry they can bring into this round. So if Doja and Mo both save those weapons, they've probably got at least 5 rifles. Now, however, it remains to be seen what exactly they're going to bring into the next round. Could be tough, but TyLoo's right back in it.
Yeah, I don't feel like they will be building that much economy, though. They seem to lose a lot of players towards the latter stages of the round, and I'm not sure. Do you see the value of all these over peaks that they come towards the end? Obviously, they're trying to take these weapons out of the hands of the CTs, but is it really worth it?
It's not bad, some of them, at the end. I mean, obviously, in that round, it was a 5-on-2. A couple peaks brought that into a 1-on-2 and almost doable for Doja. So, I mean, you want to be careful with those kinds of things, but yeah. Some of these deaths are coming when they've already won the round. Either way, they're going to be happy with what they've got. Down drop already. 4 players leaning over towards this B bomb site again. Zeus all alone over at A, and he's only got 1 HE nade. This is the deficiency of the economy of Gambit. Look at the utility they have left. Over a minute left in the round, and they barely have anything to work with.
Yeah, this is sort of the benefit of playing these slower rounds coming out at the moment from TyLoo. Looking like they're setting up for this A split, and it's only going to be Zeus defending. The rotation will have to be very, very quick, and there's already someone in drop just to try and hold off any rotation that comes in. Zoking will be there to get the first, but Zeus is actually going to be able to escape back down ramp and be behind the enemy lines at the moment. The bomb already going down, but this is a nice spot. Only 1, though, for somebody, leaving it into this 3 versus 3. They picked up a little bit of extra utility. Mo this time will get himself the pick and leaves it down to this 3 versus 2, and they're losing men left, right, and center. HM will be able to get 1, and Zoking with another. It's all on Mo once again. This time the 1v2's not going to happen, and we're back to even Steven.
Great peeking from the bomb site from Zoking. I mean, that round was on the verge of collapse. Gambit was making the retake work. A couple players caught out in the open, and Mo's able to pick them off. But Zoking with that peek, they're not prepared for that whatsoever, and this is the nightmare situation for Gambit. Yes, they had a nice run. Yes, they got out to a good lead on the gun rounds, but now they have no money. Now they're definitely broke. 6-6, TyLoo about to take control of this match. Get their first lead since converting the pistol round into 3 rounds.
It was talked about on the desk about the idea of them normally looking to win their CT half now. Do you think it's integral to them actually winning this game, or do you think Zeus is still going to be able to take the rounds on the T side?
No, they'll still be able to get the rounds on the T side. I think, I think TyLoo as well. I think their T sides are a little bit better than their CT side. So I mean, it remains to be seen if they can even handle having the defense on this map. This is where. Look at this aggressive push. Mo getting really aggressive, and they do find it. Him and Adren combined, but how much damage can they do from here? That's a gun they can't actually salvage.
Yeah, the position of that rifle not going to be helping them out. Caught with a nade in hand. I've seen a little bit more aggression come out from Hobbit as well, just waiting, hiding in the crevice to well, hopefully catch someone out. Then he will be able to retrieve a gun, just playing that close range angle. Adrian's still going to be set up over towards Platt, and then the other two just sort of waiting outside this drop room, hoping to catch someone out. Not really expecting to win this round. I think that would be a bit of an ask, and with Adrian already being lost, that's going to make things nigh on impossible as they have to rotate back into this B site. But lovely shot from Zeus, gets one, picks up an AK, and actually looks to push back into the site rather than saving it. But he does have some Kevlar, so maybe thinking he could win this round. Gets himself a second, a third for Zeus, leaving it down to a 1 versus 1. And Hobbit, he's actually on the flank, but walks in, Zoking with the read. That's a ridiculous shot.
That is so nice. That is very, very well done, and the awareness to check that flank and everything. I mean, Zeus brings him right back into the round. That's sick. Salvages the AK-47. This is what I'm talking about when I say that the skill level of some of these players on Gambit is, I mean, they're just so talented that it's always going to be dangerous for TyLoo. They almost get that reversed on him. Good save. Mo's having a great game with the AWP. It's just a little bit unfortunate he's not able to get involved in as much action. I feel like a lot of his kills are trying to retake these bomb sites, and I mean, that's just so difficult for an upper.
Quick push once again. Zoking, well, goes down to his teammates. Flames doesn't help them out too much, but it is an early trade which can benefit this T side. Zeus quickly puts it back to a 4 versus 3. He will get dunked down low, but he's still standing. And all the control is really taken at the moment from the T side is dropped. That's all they've got. 2 players there. The rotation from their teammate of DD has already pushed back out towards that A site, and they are going to take the bomb back in that direction as well, looking for this split. And in fact, there's actually nobody here.
Yeah, this is actually, it's pretty nice for TyLoo. I mean, obviously they can't know that there's no one in the A bomb site, but they've pulled everyone over. There's the up from Mo. That's a tough shot to hit. A lot of focus on this B bomb site. Just 1 kill from HZ would be all it takes. He's not going to get it, and the issue is the bomb hasn't moved. The bomb is stuck in hesitation, so while DD has made great progress and opened up a lot of ground, the indecision from TyLoo is going to leave the bomb so far away that now the fact that Gambit is out of position matters just a little bit less.
And they're not going to be able to get that sneaky plant earlier on, but this is a nice spot from DD. Catches out Zeus, brings it back to this 2v2 situation, and now Hobbit and Adrian have to try and get back into the site. Molotov will be able to throw onto the side, but all it's really going to do is clear out the position. Doesn't actually stop the plant, doesn't deny anything, and still leaves them in a spot where they have to peek back in. Somebody goes wide, though, and this leaves it all onto DD. He has a decent position to stop any pushes through the door, but Hobbit may just be able to sneak all the way past and go towards the bomb without any knowledge of him being there. It's not the best spot, and they're both going to do the same thing. He has to go running up the ramp and just misses the spot as well. Already a smoke onto the bomb, and they're just going straight for the defuse, and it doesn't even matter. Adrian will take down DD as well, and I feel like there was a bit of an overface in that situation.
From somebody, yeah, certainly in the bomb site. You got to let DD take contact on that one. He did so much good work to get them that bomb plant to clear out that A bomb site. He checked everything, gets 1 kill towards door, transitions over to the vent, and gets 1 more. That's so nice when your bomb is so far away that you have a player that's able to do that. Unfortunately, yeah, it's that overface from somebody in the bomb site that really allows Gambit to get back into the round. 7-7. And look at this buy that TyLoo comes out with. 1 AK-47, 4 UMPs. Not the strongest. Or is it the strongest? Or is it?
The meta buy, isn't it? Just having, well, it would be if you take out that 1 AK. Then it'd be perfect. You'd have the wonderful scenario that you want. Hobbit going to go back to fairly aggressive spot, just waiting around this smoke, spotting above. Not an angle they're going to check straight away anyway, but they're just rotating, playing this slowly and waiting for further aggression from the CT side.
Doja just waiting. A lot of utility that can be used over here towards drop. And there's the first, and Doja's just going to bail out. Pop flash, he's going to go back with it. Nope, just gets himself safe. So TyLoo have drop control if they want it, and here's Hobbit continuing to be aggressive on B platform. When does he make his move? Mo is there as well, this time with just an M4. Perhaps a little bit of a bait and switch setup, but not coming to fruition quite yet. And TyLoo doesn't like what they see. Maybe feels a little bit of pressure and just backs off. They're going to readdress over towards the A bomb site. The UMPs putting them into awkward situations. They've only got 1 smoke and 1 Molotov. They can only choose to block off 1 choke point when they actually hit this bomb site. And the issue is Adren's going to get a quick read.
Yeah, the problem with this as well, they don't really have the range. That's not what the is used for. It's the run and gun, but they are looking to try and get close. Adrian spotting 1 more, but they've already cut back in to try and hold off rotations. They have a spot as well, but DD's going to go down. Captain Mo will be able to get one, but they're pincering in. It's all onto Adrian, just tapping away, managing to connect, looking for that second kill as well. HZ left on such low HP, and he will not go down. Adrian doesn't manage to find the shot. It's down to the 1 versus 1. Hobbit, it's all about that timing. There's only seconds left on the clock. That Molotov might actually be enough. It's only 2 HP, peeking out, and it doesn't matter. Hobbit's got the kill anyway. Round will go to Gambit, and although it looked a little bit worrying, they will actually win the half.
Yeah, I mean, very, very cool there from TyLoo in that round, on the fly, kind of adjusting things, knowing they don't have the range, knowing with just the UMPs, smoking off doors and going through it, trying to get close up in that connector and use those UMPs to their advantage, almost making it work. But again, just another round that Gambit just barely holds on to. Gambit had to fight through adversity to win this CT side. It was the experienced players in the clutch rounds coming up big. TyLoo finding success on the offense, but not being able to close out some of those rounds. It's a good first half from them, but they've got a long way to go still. They're going to switch over to the defense and see if they can stop Gambit from being able to take this match. Both teams fighting to avoid that 0-2 pit. But a very, very exciting, I mean, high action. And this is the thing. This is what we know about TyLoo. We saw the massive skill. Some mistakes in the over-peaking.
Already Captain Mo going to go for a little bit of a peek early on. It's this 5-7 attempting to take down Hobbit, but already the first will be lost. And second as well, Hobbit doing the damage with the Glock already. The B site is left completely open, but actually the majority of their players seem to be looking to split back. There's a flank coming in at the moment as well from DD. Well placed to stop them rotating back towards B, and now looking to even up that scoreline. But Dosia not peeking at all, and they're actually just left in a sort of no man's land in drop at the moment. But Mo instantly takes down somebody, leaving just Captain Mo to defend, and he's down as well. Just instant headshots all over the shop with this Glock. No idea how they do it, because I certainly can't, and while Hobbit will finish things off as well.
It almost felt like Gambit didn't expect to have that much success over towards drop, and all of a sudden they're like, whoa, we got 2 kills. We have to change up where we're going. Yeah, and then, I mean, just from there, this is going to be the danger of TyLoo's CT side, is it's going to be difficult being able to read Gambit and getting into position if you're TyLoo, and being able to have like 2 players at the point of attack. And if they're just going to lose those fights so quickly like they just did in the pistol round, then you can't ever rotate to get into position, and you can't ever recover from a situation. So they're going to have to find some way. They're going to have to find some creative ways to kind of read what's coming, and more aggression. But actually this time it's heading right into the stack of TyLoo.
And they've They've actually invested quite a bit into this round. Hobbit going to go down straight away. HZ doing the damage as well with this CZ, bringing things back. Adrian looking to restore normality to the round with this AK, but already losing his teammates left, right, and center. And now the push from somebody. He's in on the flank. Zeus is very low on HP, but the range is just going to work out for Adrian. He'll save them in this round, as it did look very sketchy.
Yeah, that could have been so very dangerous. Just a nade stack, and that's like a 1 round for TyLoo instead of the pistols if they had gone nades. But either way, can't always know that's coming. But a good call by them, and that's what I mean. Like, get creative, take some risks, take some of those gambles. This time it almost paid off for him. Even at the end in a 1-on-2, if Adren's not there with the AK-47, by the way, he used his range with the AK-47 perfectly that round to bail his team out of a tough spot. Then Zeus might even fall, and it could turn into a 1-on-1. So 10-7. With that investment from TyLoo, we saw it in the first half. It means that this first round buy from the CTs is going to be a little bit light on nades, going to be a little bit light on maybe an AWP. So it'll be interesting to see how they decide to work around those issues.
Interesting to see this many SMGs actually bought back up. Just because most teams will just not reinvest into them because you sort of have to get rid of them anyway. So to buy back up another 3 SMGs seems a little bit odd. Do you think they'll drop them, keep them into the next round, and just go for something ridiculous?
I think if you're going to reinvest like that, you're keeping them, because what you're trying to do is get some of the bonus money on the next one, obviously, when they definitely won't have armor. And then also, I mean, this just means you can do another fast tactic. And you can hit a point of weakness with those SMGs that gives them the strength, which is towards drop pretty quickly. So yeah, they're keeping them. And the op is out for Captain Mo. And here's the thing. He has the AWP, great. You have no armor, and you have 4 SMGs to go against. Even at range, just some of these SMGs can be very, very deadly without armor.
The aim punch could definitely come into play. And a couple of teammates without head armor as well could leave them in trouble. 1 bullet to the face from any of these guns, and they're going to be losing their lives. He is playing a passive angle back, just looking down that ramp, trying to hold on, and, well, they're going to come running into his crosshair. First one goes his way, and that's the bomb. Out in the open, leaving in a horrible position. It means that they could just rotate all the way around. There is a position from Hobbit trying to hold back, but they need to try and get this bomb, and Captain Mo is just going to be looking down his sights, picks up the second as well. Mo will be able to retrieve the bomb at least and fall back, but it's a 2-man advantage already for the CT side.
I'm trying to wonder why they refaced that without any kind of flashbang to force him back or anything like that. Why did Doji go for that peek right after Zeus fell to an AWP? Either way, TyLoo's out of nades, but that op has done work. Massive advantage, and like you mentioned earlier, with the saved SMGs as well, they've only really got this AK-47 on Adren to get them back into it. No, that's almost a flick up from Captain Mo. You can see some of the speed here. Oh, and he actually unscopes at the wrong moment, but Adren can't capitalize. In fact, he doesn't even land a point of damage onto Captain Mo. Not bad, so the defense holding strong.
And now they can just be a little bit more relaxed in their sort of situation. It's going to be the push into drop down. DD will have heard all of the footsteps being made, and he's going to go jumping through. Gets the first, looks for the second, can't quite get Hobbit, but he's very low. And HZ just holding in this corner, drops the bomb for a second time, and Hobbit is down as well. 4 players surviving for the CT side. They will have to invest a little bit because they didn't have too much utility or anything in this, but that's a nice CT start. Yeah,
that's a very nice CT start. I mean, Gambit's going to have another buy, obviously, because of the saved SMGs into that round by TyLoo off the back of Captain Mo's 2 early picks. Looked a little disorganized. And look, actually, oh, okay, so this is the money before the buy again. I see what we're doing here, because that's a lot of money to have.
A bit worrying if they had that much
right,
going
if you
forward.
buy and you still have $8,000.
Especially in round 4.
Yeah, it's going to be a long half. 11-8. Gambit still in the lead. As we saw the money at the end there, it is a little bit beat up on the Gambit side of things. So losing this, and they'd be on a strained purchase in the next one. Mo with the AWP watching for a push, some kind of aggression in these A-halls. Zoking, it looked like he kind of wanted to do it, but doesn't commit. Gambit still just spread out in the default.
See them waiting for any sort of aggression to come up from this CT side. They did actually take plat control relatively early on, but they're seemingly rotating back away from it, possibly going to go for the tree boost just to try and set up in a fashion that will be able to counter any further pushes coming in from that direction. And it can sometimes mean you can gamble another player away onto the other side of the map. But if you look at the position of the bomb at the moment, they do still seem to be betting towards this B site with a little bit of a flank coming out from Dosia. Just try and make his presence known, possibly catch him out. And I wonder if he spotted the scope there. Bye-bye, Captain Mo. No AWP this time. He's out of the round, and the rest of the team, they're still just waiting over towards this B site, looking for this pick. HZ is going to have a big job to do. but he may just have to turn around. They do still have 2 players over towards drop, though, and there are quite a few players still gambling around this area at the moment. Hobbit looking to try and find this pick, but can't quite see anything yet. And somebody, there we go, trades things back. But in the meantime, bomb going, rotating. There's only 20 seconds left on the clock. Gambit leaving things very, very late. They lose Adrian as that fake, and there's already 3 players here and waiting, but they've got to get towards that site, and it's just not happening at the moment. There's still 2 players around this area. Mo will go down. And I feel like they just overplayed their hand there.
It just almost seemed like they outthought themselves, and they weren't aggressive enough on the Gambit side of things. I mean, so they have Doja just kind of set up at long A, just like a plant. They just get him up and they just put him in that corner, and he just sits there and waits for someone to walk into his crosshair. Works perfectly. Other side of the map, they have Hobbit kind of distracting, being a little bit peaky, aggressive, trying to get intel and drop, and then Adren they just have set up on B platform as like their duelist, right? They just want him to find a one-on-one. Have faith that he's going to be able to win that battle, and he doesn't. But from there, I mean, once Doja gets that pick in the A bomb site, there's no real pressure continuing onto that A site. If there's pressure onto the A site, causes some rotations. Maybe Hobbit has a little bit more success in drop because someone's rotating to A instead of having doubled up defense there. You know, that's when the player in B maybe gets a little bit of antsy and gets out of his position, unaware that Adren is waiting for him. So I'd like to see just Gambit applying a little bit more pressure, trying to leverage some of that into some rotations where they can give their teammates better fights.
Quite an early tactical pause as well coming out from Gambit. They've only really lost 1 buy round, I would consider, at least, because they had all the SMGs in the previous. So yeah. Clearly not happy with how something went in that round. They did have the man advantage early on, so taking it early, changing things up before anything goes wrong from here.
This is a very dangerous game. It's been very, very good from TyLoo. This is one of the better complete matches we've seen out of them in some time. Probably, you know, I was joking to you before this match went live, we still talk about TyLoo at Malmo, which was over a year ago. So might be one of the better performances we've seen since then, but can they stop this kind of aggression? I've never seen Doja move this fast in the server. He's already wrapping around. He's got a new angle, but DD coming through the smoke. He's finally stabilized it for TyLoo. Although 2 kills do go the way 3 of Gambit. Yeah, this is sick.
Yeah, Adrian with 1 more, and well, it is going to be traded back from Zoking, able to do the damage, and the range is still firmly in their favor. More onto Mo, as he is very low on HP, and the bomb's going to be dropped in the open as well. It's all onto Adrian. He's caught from behind, and somebody will clean up a very messy round.
That's got super dangerous. You can just see how quickly these rounds can just snowball. One player who might be the linchpin of the defense at the bomb site, and then just 3. I mean, we've seen it from both teams. I mean, there were a couple of rounds in the last half. TyLoo gets that first kill, and 2 more follow immediately afterwards. Good damage done to the CT side, going to force some rebuys. Gambit, they have the lead, but it's dwindling. 11-10, TyLoo on the verge of tying things up.
And importantly, like their counterparts of Gambit, they're able to actually save that round, because we saw that a couple of times. You could think that TyLoo could have actually easily won the half if you look at the previous half when they had those problems. They were able to get into 2 versus 1s. Look at the aggression, though. Somebody making plays, gets both players over towards Long Plat. That is the round already looking so shaky for Gambit. They didn't expect it, maybe not expecting anyone to go that aggressive early on. And now, well, already with a sketchy buy, things have just got worse.
That aggression, that's going to be tilting for Gambit. TyLoo taking control of this match. What a ballsy call as well to do at this juncture, but it's perfectly timed. Gambit obviously not expecting it whatsoever, and what do they have left? This is the issue. All their gun rounds, they've been losing some of the early battles. You think Captain Mo with the AWP in the 4th round. This round, it's somebody pushing up. This offense from Gambit doesn't really have anything to even get going. Hobbit is stopped again in drop zone, and all they have left is this B hit. 2 players, Mo and Doja, have to make it work.
Yeah, they did actually catch out the player of somebody pushing forward. So the defense is a little bit weaker, but look at the flank all the way around the back from Zoking at the moment. He's ready if they try to rotate. They know this is going to be a B hit. So already they have 3 players ready and waiting on the site. Easy kill coming in. Captain Mo, HZ, finishes off the last, and that will be a comfortable round in the end for TyLoo.
This is sick. You could start to feel this upset brewing. Somebody. These are the balls that you like to see. Pushing all the way up. Couple kills on the boxes. That's a really nice spray transfer over onto Zeus.
And Zeus seems a little bit slow to react, though. His teammate's being shot for a whole, like, 10, 15 bullets before he even moves.
It's one of those unfortunate situations as the in-game leader where he's trying to, like, be the general and marshal, and he's, you know, boosting someone up, and he's, like, trying to talk about what they're going to do. Maybe someone was questioning, oh, what smoke do I throw in this tactic? And he's just not paying as much attention to his own game. That's what I mean, not expecting that kind of a push.
This time the pace is going to be picked up, at least to take some control towards this A site. Again, just setting Dosia up, that seems to be one of the plays they like to make. Just leave him over towards that A site, wait to see if there's any further aggression. The CTs in the last round, at least, were taking a lot of map control, pushing all the way around, making sure that they were able to find out exactly where the Ts were going. So this time they're going to set somebody up waiting. And in fact, after that early push, there's already 3 players, or at least there was, on that A site. However, back towards drop.
Yeah, and Doja's over in A halls. He just threw both his utility. They're trying to just sell a very, very weak fake. There's no real presence to this A bomb site fake, and they're hoping it opens things up at B.
That's actually moved some players back. Moby able to find 1, and they are looking for this kill onto somebody again, spraying down 2, doing exactly what is needed of him, denying any sort of bomb plant. And now Dosia, that 1 man hidden over towards the A site, has to try and clutch versus 3. He is going to be making his way back into the site. Now the bomb is obtainable. The problem is, can he get it down? And then, well, defending it, that's another story altogether, and it's not really in the best place, is it? Just boosted up for him. He will be able to get a rifle. He's actually going to look to just try and retrieve it. AZ is just homing in on that angle, however, but he gets that kill as possible, but no, 1 tap, no head armor. Dosia down, and will we see TyLoo take the lead?
Yeah, when that bomb is dropped to the front of that fountain, Doja's just got to be like, oh, crap. And at that point, the goal is, you know, pick up the M4. Even if you're not going to win it, get as many kills. Try and do a little bit more economic damage. Yeah, TyLoo does have the lead. They tied it up. Now it's 12-11. Money's not great for TyLoo, but they do have like 1 extra buy built up, basically, is what they have in the bank at the moment. So if they're to lose a round, they can still buy in the next one. Gambit, this is starting to look a little bit scary. TyLoo's had their number on the CT side most of this half, at least, ever since the guns started coming out. Hobbit's had no success. He's been neutralized in drop. Doja's lurks towards the A bomb site have had rare success. And again, somebody. This is where he was aggressive last time. No AWP for Gambit this time as well. The defense shifts. A little bit more aggressive out towards A halls. 2 players there.
You can tell they're worried as well. After that push previously, you can tell that they're ready in case somebody tries to make that sort of play again. Once more, they're going to try and take over drop control. And they're going to be handed it, but the thing is they haven't been able to do much with it so far. It's been this defense from outside that's just worked wonderfully. This
round, it could be a little bit different, though. 2 players over in the A-halls. They don't really have a quick rotate to help out in drop zone. So while there is presence there, Gambit has complete control. It's only DD kind of manning this defense down. He's going to get aggressive. Hobbit's not going to be able to find that one. He's had a rough game in drop.
Already trading things back will be Adrian, taking down that Krev player, leaving it down to DD on the site. Already isolated out, HZ will be looking to try and push back in, but there's still this man just hiding in the corner. Dosia waiting to try and catch them off, but hasn't actually managed to get the kill. But look at the bomb. Zoking's managed to find it in the back lines, giving them a chance, but he's going to peek in. Doesn't look to defend it, and now, well, is he just sort of caught outside of the action? Bomb going to be able to be picked back up again.
Why did he take that fight versus Dren? He had the bomb down. 28 seconds left when that fight goes down. If he just waits, if he's just patient, he can really bleed Gambit for time. And actually, Zeus is going to have to cover Dren. There's a nice peek. Finally, Gambit to get back on the board. And that's the thing. The main point of attack there from drop zone, it's due to the fact, I mean, we've seen such a good job by TyLoo to cover that portion of the map, but 2 players over in drop. You don't have that second player to cheat over and rotate and really be able to hold it that strong. Adren comes off platform, finds the 1 kill because support was never there, so there's no one to bait for somebody over in the cubby. And now, yeah, here's that last buy, like, kind of built up on the TyLoo side of things. Even with some of the extra money, they still have 3 UMPs. So Captain Mo might feel like he has to get a little bit aggressive here to make up for the lack of firepower.
Yeah, definitely opting for utility over that weaponry. Now, they are going to go for the same play as last round, the aggressive Hall's spot. Now, Captain Mo is waiting with the AWP, looking like he's just going to line up this angle onto Mo, but loses the duel anyway. Zoking has to try and trade, and nothing comes in. 2 quick picks out from this T side. Another rotation running from DD. He's the only man who can get anywhere near this site in time, and he's got an UMP. Definitely not there for the range. He has to wait for them to try and get close, buy time for the rest of his teammates to get into the site, and it's just not happening. Already 1 for Hobbit, leaving HZ to try and achieve something, but it's done and dusted. Quick reset, no money left, and TyLoo now lose their lead.
This is a little bit more convincing from Gambit, or a lot more convincing from Gambit. This is a little bit more of what I wanted to see, in the sense that still setting up in kind of like a little bit more, in some kind of like a slow start to the rounds, right? They're not like rushing anything. They're waiting if there's going to be any kind of aggression. but you know they are grouping up a lot better and just making the call, making the decision to be aggressive and hit. So it's not like they're going super fast paced or anything like that, but once the call is in, it's very, very decisive. I mean, earlier on in this half, we saw TyLoo kind of setting the pace. Captain Mo with the op peeking down into mid. Somebody pushing up over here at B. This time now, it's Gambit kind of taking the reins of these rounds.
Well, obviously, looking at investment there is next to nothing for TyLoo to play with. Already rotating another couple of players over from that A site, just going to leave it completely clear. Go for the peak. But Mo is set up with his turret AWP, not going to allow anybody with any sort of aggression peek out from drop as well. They're trying to challenge it in the same way they did before, but Hobbit now with a Mac 10 looking to farm up as much money as humanly possible, and they are clearing these angles. It may be a stack, but so far they haven't even taken a point of damage. Somebody may be able to get away with something here. Is the only one to do anything in this round, and well, unfortunately he picks the one player who happens to hold a Mac 10. Maybe he can make himself $600. That would be a huge benefit at least, and drop a weapon, but ready and waiting will be Zeus, and the round is cleaned up.
Well, as good of a match that TyLoo has played, some small mistakes in there, but as good as they've done throughout this, I mean, they're still backs against the wall here. 14-12, no more mistakes to give. They're going to have to buy into this round.
Sort of reminiscent of the game yesterday. They played very, very well, but in the end...
How much does that doesn't get you anything, right? So it's like that, moral victories don't exist in the professional scene. So light on utility as well. No kits for the TyLoo side of things. No AWP as well. Look at Mo getting the angle very, very fast. This seems to be a recipe success for the Gambit guys. Take control of A halls and middle very, very quickly. This time, instead of Doja lurking over towards A, it's a Dren lurking over towards B. He's in drop. Hobbit hasn't had success there, but a Dren might be able to do it.
Trying to switch up their playbook a little bit. The bomb's still waiting very far back, and there's the boost. Spotted out, can't quite connect onto Zoking, and he's going to have to fall away. Give up control. Obviously, it is very possible to play this site passively. The bomb is actually going to be dropped a little bit further towards that B site, and they are still just maneuvering their way around, taking a lot of map control at the moment, especially over towards this A site, and we've seen how good Dosia has been in this sort of position so far, and he may just look to do a little bit more, but there's currently two players just waiting to his right.
Well, this is kind of cool. Taking control of A halls, they're going to leave Doja here, and Mo's also here with the AWP. Obviously, I mean, it seems like Gambit almost, if they rotate back towards B and apply a little bit of pressure, because there's 3 players from TyLoo here. If they start making the rotation, a couple players are there to kind of pick them off as they try and make the run, but they're going to come right back towards A. 3 players here, but Doja gets the opening kill. That's huge. Molotov is going to be out, protect off the balcony. There's Captain Mo. He's got to do more, though. 1 is not enough, and he does get 2. DD with 2 of his own, and they've shut down this attack. The TyLoo defense stands tall. It's that gamble. It's that extra, that 3rd player at this A bomb site has been all the difference. DD with 3. And TyLoo have got their 13th.
A big, big round as well. That was stretched by, to say the least, limited utility, no kits, so they really couldn't afford to let them get onto that site. And the way things started, it looked set up for Gambit to just run over them. They looked like they had the positional play, but a couple of double kills coming out, there's nothing you can do against that. Yeah,
that's, I mean, just super, super nice. And that's the thing. You know, one of the keys to the CT side I mentioned when this half started was get creative. You're going to have to take some gambles somewhere. There's the big one right there, putting 3 players in that A bomb site. Trusting your defense over towards B, trusting the reads you're making pays off here.
Back with the investment, though. The T's not having too many problems in terms of economy as of yet. Once more, trying to challenge drop, but it really hasn't worked out too well for them. There was sort of the one round where it was abandoned by this CT side where they were able to capitalize, and Captain Mo's actually going to open things up. This time, Dosia, he's been sneaking around this A site all match, and he's finally going to be caught out.
Gets punished. I mean, you can see Gambit, they just go to the other side of the map. They're like, well, we lost the rock towards the safe bomb site. Oh, there's a player. DD almost getting caught out. He's got the intel, though. There's only 2 players really in this B bomb site, and they're playing deep on platform. So now that Hobbit has this position, they're a little bit exposed. No one cheating over quite yet. This could be dangerous. DD, though, you can have a quick jump into drop zone. They're pressuring so much towards this B platform. What a dangerous situation, and HZ feels the pressure. There's the defense. Collapses at the most inopportune moment.
Captain Mo will be able to push back in and get one, but he's shot through the smoke. Adrian finishing him off, and now it's all onto the stand, and Mr. Zoking, and well, he looks like he's questioning his decision to try and fight back into this round. There is an AWP down. He gets the first, though. Picks off one in the form of Mo, and Adrian repeats. That's another for Zoking. Now it's all onto Zeus, the mastermind of the team. He's fallen back around. Is going to be in behind, but he actually throws the Molotov, but through the flames, we see Zeus finish this round, saving it for his team, but that came way too close.
Zeus cannot be happy that that just turned into from a 3-on-1 into a 1-on-1 that quickly. Too much over-peaking from Gambit. Underestimating their opponents and the ability of Zoking to turn that into a tough situation. So that's a round they'll have a conversation about when this is over. It's too close to worry about it now, but once they finish, 15-13, and it's dire situation for TyLoo. 2 CZs, as we call it over here in Europe, and the 3 UMPs.
Yeah, and that round really was sort of a crunch time round. That could have been the difference between, what, 15-13 map point, economy reset, and 14-14 overall. So
yeah, and this is the crazy part. This is why a lot of talk is always on this map of drop zone and why it's so hard to defend, because, I mean, you could see how much leverage it gives terrorist teams. I mean, the way that Gambit took control of it and even pressured the B platform defense from drop zone. And I mean, TyLoo, for the most part, has done a great job on drop, but just a couple rounds they've looked away, and it ruins everything in this half for them.
Adrian now out onto that plat. They are close with these pistols. Maybe there's something to be done, but already cleaning things up. 2 players lost. 1 remains over on this B site. Somebody being shot at through the smoke, just about dodging those bullets, but they've already lost another teammate. Hobbit just trying to hold this drop position. He is low on HP, so isn't going to go for any sort of overface, whereas the CTs, they may as well just go for anything here. It's done, and that will be it. Gambit taking things a flawless round to finish, and they do eventually scrape this victory out.
Yeah, they had to work for it, though. I mean, remember, in the first half as well, there's a couple clutches. There's back-to-back 1-on-2s won by, I think, Doja and Mo. You know, if those don't go their way, this could be a completely different game. Towards the end of it as well, finally finding some weakness in this TyLoo defense. I think overall, though, story of this is going to be, yes, good win for Gambit. Good to see them tested and come out on top. This TyLoo team, I think they were very, very impressive in this matchup. A lot of things that they've improved upon since we've seen them, you know, intermittently throughout the year.
Yeah, the unfortunate factor is it's both of the games they've had. It's sort of like close but no cigar.
Right.
They've managed to get themselves like into a position where we go, okay, yeah, they've challenged the 2 teams they've played, but they've come out 0-2, a very hard position to come back from. And to be honest, like going into that sort of bottom part of it, they have to come all the way back through all of the teams all the way along.
Yeah, I mean, and it's going to be interesting to see who they're going to draw up against tomorrow, right? That'll be the test. I mean, there could be a situation where we see TyLoo, you know, had these 2 good games, but also then get matched up against one of the other Asian teams, and then they're just fighting for their crown in Asia, right? Like, because they just lost, I think, their first LAN game against another regional opponent, which was Vici Gaming. So we'll have to see if, I mean, they can hold on to that crown, because it's obviously being threatened right now. Because we've also seen cool stuff out of MVP yesterday. We saw great things out of 5 Power last night against Na'Vi. Some of these Asian teams have some very cool aspects to their game.
Also, there's a Flash as well who should be coming into the scene relatively soon, the new team on the block.
The Asian super team, so to speak.
We'll see how that actually comes about.
Speaking of a super team, we've got one on the desk. We'll take it over to Machine.